This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
This episode is powered by MetaFans. MetaFans is an NFT project for all the sports lovers. You know why you should get MetaFans? You know why you should get it? Because it got the ultimate utility. What is utility? It's the perks of having the NFT. You thought about getting an NFT, right? Probably. So this is the one to get for sports lovers. You know why? Because free ticket giveaways, free in real life events. They're going to be doing cash prizes for fantasy sports and all that good stuff, pick'ems and all that. You love fantasy sports. I know it, right? Yeah. Okay. So then you're going to go to the website, metafans.com. You're going to mint it for 0.08. You're going to buy it. That's what mint means. You're going to buy it, right? 0.08, around 250, right? 250. You get all that. They just had a Super Bowl party at Wrigley Field. They rented out the whole stadium. It was nuts. It's crazy. It's lit. They're doing all these good things. I think personally it's one of the most slept on projects. It's all about the perks. You guys think it's just a JPEG? This is what you get when you get a JPEG, you know? Go check it out. Metafans.com. 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 Go mint it. If you mint one, tag me in it at PCG7. Tag me Average Sad. Tag me PG Sports. Whatever. Tag Metafans. Obviously. Tag me too, and see what happens. Maybe you'll get another. Maybe you'll get another perk. Who knows? You never know. Check it out, Metafans. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Average Savage podcast. Our special guest today is Keith Berry. Keith, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great, man. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time.
Coming on. Yeah, glad we connected on Twitter. That's how I've been meeting a lot of new people, so it's dope to just get the people on. And I'm a big sports fan. I work in sports too, so I wanted to get you on since you were into sports and NFTs. Knowing that you're an MMA fighter, just tell me a little bit of background about yourself and how'd you get into mixed martial arts?
I grew up in Marietta, California, and just as a child, my mom was a single mother, and I just got into a lot of shit, and I got into a lot of fights when I was like 14, 15. And my wrestling coach in high school just said, you know what, man, if you're a real man, you'll do it in the ring. And I started getting more in jiu-jitsu and just like kind of like really respecting martial arts. And then when I was 18, I turned pro. I found like a manager and had some amateur fights. And that was back in 2005. And I fought all the way up to about 2015. I got suspended for actually smoking weed. And then I came back and I fought for Bellator for a couple of years. The COVID hit. So I've taken like 2 years off from COVID. But yeah, I'm looking to still finish my career in the UFC and get some more fights. I think I'm on a 3-fight win streak right now. So, I've handed myself to the NFT kid just because I've been super into NFTs lately and just like geeking out on it hardcore, basically, just to be honest about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, just going back into the MMA career, like I know you just said you got suspended for like smoking and things like that, but like how crazy is it now that it's like kind of like normalized and it's not like frowned upon now?
Yeah, so it was a weird transition. So I saw that, right? So I saw they were like totally, and they weren't totally against it. I feel like no one really cared, but they usually like just don't test for that. I don't know. It was a specific test. Somebody might have just knew I was smoking or something. So then I kind of saw that transition over a year. And then when I came back after I fought, my year off or whatever, and then it became legal during that year, I came back and I smoked in the crowd after my fight. And the commission didn't even care. They didn't care. They like were happy for me. And it was just funny. So I feel like a lot has changed. There's like a certain amount of metabolites that are allowed in your system. So basically they just don't want you to be high during the fight. You could smoke recreationally, for recovery, for, just for fun if you want, whatever. But as long as you're not high during the fight is where they've kind of told us they don't want. So that's why there's a certain amount of metabolites that basically if you test over 150 metabolites, I think, then that you're basically high within the last like 10 hours. So.
Gotcha. Then what was it like just coming up in the ranks? I know you fought for a lot of organizations and obviously you fought for like big ones like Strikeforce and Bellator. So what was that whole experience like? And I know you're a veteran. You got like what do you got like 34 fights, 32,
something
yeah,
something like there. But yeah, I had I started off in like King of the Cage, a smaller organization, really popular. Like Uriah Faber came from King of the Cage, Quentin Rampage Jackson. So I kind of came from that. I won the belt there. I had a lot of like good, like real good start, I feel like, in my MMA career. And then I just got into some injuries. I'm kind of the type that I just accepted all fights, and even if I was injured or whatever. And yeah, so I've had my ups and downs, and I fought everywhere. So I feel like I have a lot of experience now, and my body's still in really good shape. And I just want to like end my career in the UFC, get a couple more. There's been a lot of people that I've seen in the UFC lately in the last couple of years that I've trained side by side with, and I feel like I match up really well against some of these guys. So yeah, I feel like this is my year. I made a little money in crypto and a little money in Doge. So now I can kind of focus a little more on training, a little more on just like recovery.
yeah,
It's hard when you're fighting and you're trying to work another job and trying to support yourself, and then trying to get sponsors, and then you're paying your manager, you're paying all these things. It's if you're not at the very top in the UFC, it's hard to really make a good living being a fighter, you know?
yeah. And I think that's like a big issue coming up now. I'd say love him or hate him, like Jake Paul keeps on calling out for that, and like UFC fighters not getting paid enough.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Obviously, I mean, it's a little, I feel like he's a little going a little above the top, but like, I think he might be telling the truth a little bit too. So what are your, like, your takes on that?
Jake Paul, man, he's a smart businessman. He really is. He's marketed himself well. He's like the perfect heel. Everybody loves to hate him, and he's making a lot of money from that. So, you know, I commend him for it, you know. And that knockout, that last knockout he got over Tyrone Woodley, I'm friends with Tyrone, and I've trained with him a lot. And that was a real fucking knockout, and that was solid. And you know, much respect to Jake and everything he's doing. He's right. He's over exaggerating because that's his whole gimmick. You know, he's just so exaggeratory with everything. So yeah, he's doing a good job. He's bringing awareness to it. On the flip side, I like Dana White a lot. He's always like taking care of me, even when I wasn't with the UFC. He's given me tickets and done certain things, and you know, I think he's just like a really cool guy. He kind of does take care of people that he's done business with for a long time. So yeah, I think they're both fucking cool guys. But
Yeah.
Jake is he is bringing some awareness to it. So I think it's healthy. I think it's good for the sport. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. And I
yeah,
think that's the other thing, like like, I don't think fans realize like a lot of guys do have second jobs.
yeah, for
And I think
sure.
that's like a big, like you were just saying, like training, going to job training, like that's a lot for somebody in general. Um, and then to perform at your best and things like that. But I also saw you were on the Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz 3 card. So what was that like to be on a card like that?
See, something like that. I'll give you a little background on that guy. I would actually like to fight that guy again. That was he was a really respectable opponent. He was in the Ultimate Fighter, really tough guy. I was getting ready for bare knuckle boxing, and I was like, I've been training for bare knuckle boxing for like 3 months, and then two opponents fell out, and then they didn't want to pay for my flight, so I ended up just like pulling out of the fight. And then a week later, I got a call from Oscar De La Hoya's like management, and they were saying they're putting on a fight and they need somebody last minute. So it was like one of those things, and I almost knocked the guy. I really gave him some good shots in the beginning, and he took me down, and he got me in a rear naked choke, I believe. But yeah, something like that. It's just kind of like the story of my career where I was training for something else, and I saw an opportunity, and I kind of need the money, and you know, shit happens. But now I'm training a lot, doing my jiu-jitsu, doing everything, doing my cardio. I'm eating good. I mean, I have more time than I've ever had, so it's really nice. So I expect my performance to, you know, go up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now you seem like a humble, nice guy. Do you turn on a different switch when you get in the cage?
For sure. Yeah. 'Cause people say like don't like fight with anger and shit, but
Yeah.
I feel better when I'm a little like, I mean, it's a fight, you know. I came up street fighting. Even though no matter how you want to put it, it's a fight. I know we're professional fighters, we're being professional, but when I do get in the cage, I don't like to like the person. I just like to like smash on them and get my game plan done and win.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do respect another fighter. I know we're doing the same thing. He's going through a lot of stuff in his life, I'm sure, and to be where he's at. So I always respect who I'm fighting, you know.
Yeah. No, for sure. Now just I know you're into NFTs, big into NFTs. That's how I linked up with you. Um, so tell me about how you got into NFTs and when was it?
I got into NFTs. It wasn't even a year ago. It was like probably 9 months ago. I heard about it from a friend on Twitter. I was into Doge originally, back in like 2019. I picked up some just from a friend telling me about it, and then um, I came back on Twitter in like 2020 and just kind of like building up. And then last year, everything kind of like blew up with Doge and everything. And then I kind of like saw some other people getting into NFTs. And then I'm like, I've heard about what they were, you know, but I wasn't really sure. And I just like went deep on Gary Vee videos and just like explanations of what they are. And now I kind of have like my own like explanation what I tell people they are. I tell different people different things actually, because it's like it's kind of, you know, you're pitching to your audience, right? So
Yeah.
some them like I just tell them a very basic way, and then some people that are a little more advanced, I feel like I tell them like another way.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
No, I definitely feel you on that because I like the basic things I just tell people is just like, yeah, it's like digital sports cards if you could picture that, I guess, like just in the simplest way. Um,
simple.
yeah.
Yeah,
But now just getting into it and, a lot of people are kind of contacting me, like asking me to make projects or whatever, or like helping them make, I'm like, it's way harder than you think. Like it's like a whole business if you start a big project, like a 10,000, 8,000 project, something like that.
yeah. No, people have said the same thing to me, and it takes a lot of time. And you want like a good team, maybe like a five people that really know what they've done, and maybe have done a project already that's been successful, not just like everyone's just trying it for the first time and
Yeah.
just hope it's all going to work. You know, I've just seen different projects sell different ways too and market different ways, and there's a way to market things really smart and like really use your money sparingly, which I think they should. And then as much organic growth as you can, you know, and then yeah, I mean, there's a thousand people talk about this a lot to me, and if I'm really gonna make a project, I would want to make it with somebody in real life that's an artist that wants to get into NFTs, that's interested. So then I'm like, all right, well then here's a real artist from the real world. I'm taking into NFTs, and I'm going to kind of introduce them to the world, and then find somebody that's a really good developer to build out a contract that's not a fucking rug pull. That's a really solid contract for the holders, for, you know, the makers, everything, for the creators. So something like that. But like you're saying, man, it's tough. You need a like whole business plan, right? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of money involved. There's
Yeah.
like millions of dollars if you sell out a 10,000 collection at like point zero even 5 ETH or something, you know,
Yeah.
and millions of dollars. So there should be like some real strategic planning. And I know that. So that's why I haven't even tried yet, you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I have it in my mind, you know, if something happens and all the pieces come together, then I would definitely, like I said, I would get somebody that is into NFT, that wants to get into it, that maybe it's their first project with linked with other people that have done successful projects that could like see this artist do well in the NFT arena. And then just like, at least we have a lot of chance to win, you know?
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. Like find a dope artist that's not into NFTs yet, and then hopefully they have a
But
following already too. So then,
that they're like, oh, I'm interested, but they probably have so much shit on their plate, like a lot, that they need the extra push. So yeah.
Yeah, like I already told some of my friends that are like, I got one friend that's a tattoo artist, and he's like good at drawing and stuff, and I told him about it. He just doesn't get the concept yet, but eventually he'll see. Like once more people start posting about it. Like I think it's the stat was like only like 3% of Americans like own an NFT right now, so super new.
Did you get like a caption that popped up on your Twitter that said like, this is what an NFT is, and it kind of like gives you this breakdown, and they're talking about verifying NFTs on Twitter? Did you get that?
Yeah, it just happened. It just happened
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
So I'm like, everyone's just getting this. So like, if everyone's getting that, it's kind of like people are like, well, what's an NFT? Even people that have now. So like, I mean, it's becoming mainstream, right? It's well, Twitter is definitely the place for NFTs. It's where everyone's at with NFTs, I feel like. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it because I feel like a lot of people have been sleeping on Twitter just for years, anyways. Like, and I always thought it was a great platform, so it's dope to actually see it's getting utilized because like on Instagram you can't really click on stuff, and on Twitter you could click on stuff, you go on the links, and then you could find all the stuff. So yeah, and I think like you said that what you just said, that's gonna blow people's mind with the NFT pictures or profile pictures.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do you think is next for just like NFTs in general? Like what projects are you looking at like that are coming out soon?
What's next for them? A lot of people are getting into this metaverse stuff. I'm really like bullish on the whole metaverse, Sandbox, Decentraland, Mana, all that. I wanted to buy some Sandbox. It's like 3.5 Ethereum for the floor, and I'm like, I don't know if I could justify it to myself yet, even though I know it's a good investment, because I'm like, obviously I'm really into NFTs, and it's just like, I don't know. I just don't know how to pick a plot. And I'm like, I know Axie Infinity is doing a whole metaverse too, and there's just a lot to choose from, right? So I have a friend that got into Axie Infinity really early, and he made like a ton of money. And I'm like, shit, man, I feel like they're a really, really solid company. So, and I feel like they're still going to do well, and they're still going to go up. So yeah, I'm still kind of thinking about it all. The space is just like, it grows so quickly, right?
Yeah.
So many things I hear about every day. But it's still a small community. It's still, just like you said, like only 3% of people in the world have ever like heard of NFTs. So it's there's still a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, it's crazy because like last Saturday I think I was supposed to go out and I didn't go out, and I'm happy I didn't go out because then there was like a whole bunch of like random projects that just like blew up and like sold out. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like nuts. Like anything could just happen. And
But
like
I have learned. I mean, not I learned this last year, but this year I'm not just going to hold all my NFTs. I'm going to buy maybe like a little more, and I'm going to flip a couple, because I just see these floor, like sometimes they run way up, and then if you don't sell and you're holding on, and you just you kind of leave a lot of money on the table, and you can buy back in at the bottom again, because it happens fast. It happens in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't be patient and wait. So that's kind of like my new thing, and I kind of changed my whole plan. I was like, oh, I'm not going to sell for a whole year, and just seen so many projects that I got into just like never recover from where they were. So I'm like I'm bullish. I still like the art. It's still dope. Like I'm not going to sell some of them, but I'm not selling because I pretty much can't. So, but I'm just like, I'm thinking, I'm a collector. I like to collect them, but I'm going to try to make a little money too. So I feel like taking profits isn't a bad thing. And some people are just really on certain projects. They're like, if you sell, they're like, oh, you sold. They like shame you, selling shame but
no, that's exactly what I've been figuring out is like they shoot up after like a couple of days, and then it like levels itself out. So I'm like the same exact way you're thinking. Like I'm like, all right, I think I'm gonna try to start getting like two, and then just flip one and then keep one, because some of them I do actually do like, and I do think they're might be worth more in the long term. But like the short term flip is like nuts.
Then it'll kind of save you then, right? Yeah. So Yeah, for sure, for
Like
sure.
even like yesterday, I haven't checked what the Nelk Boys one was, but like right when it first got minted, it went up to like 2 ETH, and then by the end of the day, it was at 1, and it
Hmm.
minted for 0.75. So like you could have doubled your money real quick and then bought back in, and still, so you would have had 1 ETH, and you had a one card.
Yeah,
So that's
is it
crazy.
boys? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, the Nelk Boys. Yeah,
Boys. Yeah, my buddy told me about that one.
yeah,
I thought that one was gonna sell out so quick. How like 10 minutes or something?
yeah. It was nuts. They have like a huge following. Like, yeah, they have a
Yeah.
crazy big following. But that's why I was interested to see how their fans converted, because I don't, once again, like I don't think all these people are into NFTs. So I
Mhm.
think it was like a little of the NFT community, and then like their fans probably just got into it yesterday, like too. Like that's why I don't know. It's nuts. But they're also from Canada too, so that's interesting too.
Yeah, hopefully the fans will just buy a bunch of the secondary and then the market will keep going.
Yeah, yeah. What about sports and NFT and crypto? Like, how do you see that? Like in the next, I don't know, couple of years. I know UFC just did the deal with Crypto.com.
Yeah, and then UFC has their own NFTs. They're coming out with a whole
Yeah,
collection and a whole series with their fighters. So I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work. So say like someone like Sean O'Malley, he has some. I don't know if you know the Crypto Cannabis Club,
hmm
CC. So he has like a specific 101, and I think he has a couple in the collection. I think he bought into the project. So I'm like someone like him. If they make a specific NFT for the UFC, is he going to want to rep his own NFT or is he going to rep the UFC's?
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I think there's a little more like freedom because they just don't understand it, the technology, and they don't understand like they don't get it, but
yeah,
they're just like down because they're like, oh, this is probably going to generate funds and it opens up another market. They don't really have to do anything, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. With athlete and celebrity projects right now, like I don't really like the ones when it's like actually them. Like when if it's someone like, so say if you made one and it was like your face, like
Yeah.
instead of like I want it to be like a, like say like Ozzy Osbourne's comes out today actually, like his is like crypto bats, like it's not
Yeah.
him, but it's like related to him, but not like, I think those ones, I think it has to be, like I said, like it has to be some kind of, I don't know, like animal or something like that. Basically
Def-
not them.
Definitely just a monkey, a cool
Yeah.
monkey. And
Oh my god. Anything. I'm kind of sick of the apes, but we'll see. They're
you
coming
know
out with
what
too many.
up is the apocalyptic apes, and I was kind of on their team a little bit, helping them, market a little bit, and that ran way up, and I sold a couple of them late, but I'm glad I did because I sold them at like 2 Ethereum to 1.5 a couple. And then now the floor is all the way down to like zero point 0.4. Even though I'm bullish on the project long term, there seem like a cool group of guys. Like, I don't know, it just seems cool. But I'm glad I did what I did, right?
Yeah.
Because from now I still have four, and if they run back up, then I'm cool.
Yeah. No,
But
definitely. Yeah. And I think that, like, that's like, I think that's like one of the best artworks out.
yeah, yeah, I just
Like,
like
it's
I
crazy.
like the vibe, right? It's just
Yeah.
like some have like shot, like they got shot in their ear, and they're like golden. They got these face masks. They're just
Yeah.
dope. Like, a really cool style. I just feel like people really vibed with that, and it was crazy because right before Christmas, and they were talking about burning them. They're like, yeah, if
Yeah.
we don't sell out, we're gonna burn them. And I was like, I was gonna buy like 10 one night, and I was like high, and I was like, I'm gonna buy 10 more. I just didn't. I don't know the gas. I was just like worried about gas. And then the next day, I don't know what happened, but somebody bought in and then they just flew.
Yeah.
And then like it was the first project that I kind of saw everything really fly like that. It was kind of cool. So I did get into the Robotos like about a year. When I first started, I got into the Robotos. So I feel like that project's been doing really well, and they have some really, really like a anyone friendly. It's obviously it's like a kid friendly kind of thing, but I mean it's like it's PG, right? It's for like anyone. So I really like that project too. And that guy Pablo, he's like a super charismatic guy from Mexico, just like really cultured and like I don't know. You just like want to bet on the guy because he just seems like he's gonna fucking make shit happen. And I like the art. It's cool art, and they have like a really strong like central community, not central, but like connected community, you know.
Yeah.
They feel all really do know each other. So
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't get one because I was not into it then, but I wish I did get one when it was early because I think those ones are dope. And I saw they did a collab, I think, with Times too.
Yeah. They have a bunch of street art too in Mexico and some in downtown LA. So I mean, they're just like, I don't know. They're a cool little project. They're doing like some utility for their community. They did like I think they have a cartoon, and they have like their own metaverse with their own little video game and all this stuff. So they're definitely like really building their project out, right?
Yeah.
Some of these projects, they run up, they run down, and then there's like nothing else. Like they're just done. They sold out, and then their floor dropped, and then there's just no more announcements, and they just
Yeah, for sure. All right, you ready for some fun questions?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, who are your like top 3 your favorite fighters like growing up?
Top favorite, I like Don Fry a lot.
All right.
You know who Don Fry is? He has solid old school. He used to wear these like American Gladiator, like American flag shorts, and just like whoop people's ass in Japan. So I really liked him. I like Dan Henderson a lot. I used to train with Dan over in Temecula for years and years, and I grew up in Marietta, Temecula area. And so I've kind of just gone between Team Quest and Extreme Couture my whole career. So Dan Henderson, Don Fry. I like Chael Sonnen. I like Chael Sonnen's personality a lot. I don't know if he's like my favorite fighter. And maybe like Anderson Silva, just because I feel like in my time he was like one of the greatest of all time. You know, it's kind of like a different era now, but yeah, I feel like he's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, for sure. What about, would you ever do a boxing match?
Yeah, I've done like maybe 6.
You did pro boxing?
Yeah, I've done. I did. I was 3-0, and then I started fighting some real boxers. I cut like much weight in the fight, and I lost the decision, and then I got stopped twice. I went to Hollywood. I fought this guy, this undefeated boxer. He was actually one of Freddie Roach's guys. So I kind of got into it too fast, kind of like how I do with a lot of things. But no, boxing's a lot of fun, and it's just different. You know, it's a different art. I'm probably not going to do any more boxing because I want to just concentrate on MMA, and I like jiu-jitsu a lot. And that's like I like to box, I like to strike, but then sometimes people will try to take me down, and then I have like a really quick counter jiu-jitsu game, if that makes sense, like guillotines, rear naked chokes, and triangles when people are panicked, when they're not trying to get knocked out. And it's worked well for me in my career. So I'm probably going to use that in my next couple of fights. So yeah. I'm going to try them out, but I feel like they're going to try to take me down. So I'm going to have to use jiu-jitsu on them. So.
Gotcha. Who would your dream matchup be if you could pick like anyone, like dead or alive,
to fight?
Yeah.
Shit. Shit. That's a hard question. I don't know. Maybe I've always wanted to fight Chris Lieben.
All right.
So
any reason why?
We have like a similar style, I think, and I always thought I could beat him, and I watched him coming up. I actually like him. He's a nice guy. I was really impressed with him. He had this like Ultimate Fighter. He was in the Ultimate Fighter house, and he drank all night, and the next day they had like this workout where they ran on the treadmill for like all these miles, and he ended up like beating everyone after he was drinking all night the night before. So I was like, damn, this guy's solid. I don't know why I want to fight him from that, but I just like, I don't know. I just think it'd be cool to fight him.
That's funny. All right, last one. Yeah. What is something people don't know about you?
Don't know about me? I don't know. I work in the industry as well. I got partnered up with a company called Grow Packer. So I'm like a partner in this distribution company, and we have like probably 10 different brands. So I kind of do that on the side as well, and I train and look up NFTs all day. So
that's dope.
But people already know that. So what do they don't know? I don't know.
Well,
I love snowboarding. I love to snowboard.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Keith. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and could you let the listeners know where they can follow you at?
Yeah, just my Twitter. I'm mostly on Twitter. I have an Instagram and a Facebook, all that. Who cares about that? It's all about Twitter. Twitter's KOKid951 is my @ handle. But yeah, I appreciate your time, man.